Hi everyone, Michael Young, CEO of Infisyte, a technology company that's using data analytics and AI to really identify the best solutions, really to help you get the optimal digital ecosystem within buildings. Before I start, because it's interesting, and I haven't heard Vinny speak or John speak before, but Vinny, very powerful technology platform, really collecting, managing, analyzing, really to give you the actionable insights. You spoke a lot about those actionable insights. And then John mentioned that he uses a range of different types of digital solutions, okay? And aligning all those to really match up and give you what you need can be a real challenge as well. And that's the challenge that's out there today in the built environment and construction, is that digital ecosystem is so complex. It's growing at a phenomenal rate. There's so much data, there's so much digital complexity. It's becoming really, really difficult to understand what are best solutions that you can bring together to really optimize what you want to do. And this morning, we've only got 20 minutes, but what I want to share with you folks is how you can actually fight fire with fire, or data with data. How we can actually start to leverage data to understand how we can map the flow of data through from what we need to collect, what we need to manage, what we need to analyze. So ultimately we can get the best actionable insights out, okay? And we can take data methodologies and technologies and bring those together to actually automate that process. So of all the scores and scores of different technologies, you can actually have a much more data-driven or informed decision-making process around what you should really be using on your projects or in your buildings. Yeah, makes sense? Okay. So I'm going to start just to give you a little bit of background, set the context, and just talk about this digital complexity. And Alan spoke about it earlier, how much data has just been generated now coming off the built environment and coming off projects in real time. Like 15, 20 years ago, and that's not long ago for a lot of us here, right? Data was just used really for controlling and managing on buildings. You had just a few core building systems, a building management system. You had fire and safety, access and control. But really, just with the acceleration of PCs and interconnectivity and more devices, cloud computing, you're not installing software on it with floppy disks anymore. It's all in the cloud. Just means that there are so many more applications out there now that can help you control and manage. But really what's happening is now, with the really mass proliferation of sensor technology, smart metering technology, there is so much data pouring off buildings. And the built environment is starting now to play catch up and is really starting to use this data for business insights, for analytics. And that spawned a whole new ecosystem, I guess, and capabilities of analytical capabilities across the built environment. So you can see there that data now can be used to really understand the patterns of your energy consumption. You're collecting data on your maintenance activities, so you're able to analyze equipment performance and which equipment is trending poorly and which equipment is trending better. You even have applications now like fault detection and diagnostics. It's actually collecting data across the whole range of different data repositories. It can start to tell you, well, if your weather is cool and your outside air damper is closed, but your chilled water valve is fully open, why are you doing that? Okay, right? Open your outside air damper. The weather's cool. Okay, save yourself energy, Mr. BMS. So that's analytics. And now, as if that wasn't enough, all this data can now be used to train programs. And if there's one thing you take away today, that's what AI is. AI are programs that learn from data. And all this data we're using, again, I'm going back to Vinny, because again, it's all using this type of data, and they're gathering this data because it can start to give you predictive intelligence. It can start to give you insights about things that are going to happen. And that's where machine learning and supervised and unsupervised and all the different types of AI algorithms can really be applied to this data. So look at the ecosystem now and tell me it's not hard to actually be able to sit down and understand now, what do I really need? What type of solutions are compatible with my building? What type of solutions are really aligned to my needs? And in fact, again, going back to John, what type of solutions fit together? Because it's now like a jigsaw, right? Because you actually can end up with a lot of solutions that have so many overlapping capabilities. Sometimes you can end up buying 20 solutions when, 12 would have done, because they had so many overlapping capabilities. That's the challenge. And it's becoming increasingly difficult to really understand what type of solutions. So I'm going to show you how we can apply data methodologies and, again, fight data with data to actually help us really to be able to be more analytical about choosing these types of solutions for all the different types of priorities that you can have. Because across a project, across the built environment, it's not just one thing you typically want to do, right? It might be energy efficiency, sustainability, tenant comfort, equipment reliability. The list is as long as my arm, okay, of things that you now need to deliver on a project or in a building. So that's what I want to show. I want to show you how you can really use data to make more informed decisions about what type of solutions you're choosing. Don't have time to go into too much detail, but at a high level, there's two key data methodologies, right? Data ecosystem and data lifecycle. And if we just take one example here of trying to figure out what type of solutions we might need for energy efficiency in a building, we might look at the data ecosystem first. So you look across a building or a project and you say, right, what are all the equipment, systems, and devices that in some way interact with data that contribute to improving energy efficiency? And you can see there, I'm sure a lot of them are that alien to you in terms of occupancy sensors or smart lighting or building management system. And then you look at how does data flow through these? And data lifecycle. Data lifecycle is critical, and I was following it when Vinny was talking about how they can use drones and cameras to collect data, how you need to store and secure and make that data accessible. Then you need to be applying analytics, okay, to extract intelligence from that, or else use that data to train algorithms in machine learning. So you must look across the ecosystem and say, am I collecting enough information? Am I managing enough? Am I analyzing? Am I applying enough analytics? You get some projects that are collecting loads of data, like this massive data lake, but they're not applying the necessary analytics to ultimately get out the actionable insights. And that's the key takeaway when you're doing a project, is that all this data, all this analytical capability you're applying, it's all for naught unless you're ultimately getting out value, actionable intelligence that can actually save you or your client money on the project. So by using the data ecosystem and the data lifecycle, we're able to essentially map the flow of data now through a project or through a building. It's like a river. Okay, it's flowing through the project, and we need to make sure that it's coming out the other side as actionable intelligence. The great thing is we can apply analytics now to actually be able to automate and identify for us that, okay, here are the key capabilities that are actually missing in my project. Okay, and I'm just giving an example there. We're looking at energy efficiency in this particular example. You might be missing capabilities like to aggregate energy data, to be able to monitor, set up real-time monitoring alerts, to be able to do load management, to be able to do predictive modeling. They're all core capabilities in terms of managing energy efficiency on a project, and you need to see are those capabilities present. Okay. And here's one step further, is when you can identify and prioritize all the different digital capabilities that are now missing, or the jigsaw pieces that are missing, we can actually use machine learning or AI to actually go out there and look in the marketplace. What are the best solutions on the market that actually combine these critical digital capabilities that are missing, that come together and recommend the best solutions? Now, I just did this for energy efficiency, but you could do this across scores of business priorities at once. So you're now identifying across your project, across all the business priorities that you have, you're identifying all the critical digital capabilities you're missing, and on top of that, how they all fit together with the best solutions. So you're not buying 20 different solutions, you're buying the 15 that fit, or 10 or 12 that fit together best for your specific building, for your specific needs. And that's how you can apply data methodologies and using technology to be able to give you the best idea, the best solutions. I can show you very briefly. Yeah, just jump in and show you an example of how we can actually apply that on the Infisyte platform. Just make that bigger. Are there any questions on that? Because it's pretty important just to understand what we're doing is just taking data methodologies. And by the way, these are data methodologies that are applied in a lot of other industries. They just really haven't been applied that much to the built environment and construction in terms of today. So I'm just going to skip through this just to give you an example of how we can do this for a I need to log in. This is your platform. This is the platform, and this is what we use with clients and our partners to be able to sit with them, to be able to understand a project that they're working on, or a construction project, or building they're designing, and to be able to help them identify what are the best types of solutions. And again, the way we can collect this data is by BIM, building information models, and you can put in information on existing buildings. But a lot of the time, we're going to sit with the client to understand the particular building, the equipment data. And then, like I said, like any digital transformation project, it's about understanding what are the top priorities, what are the critical factors that you need to be considering when you're doing this project. So again, I'm just going to look at energy efficiency and sustainability, and let's pick equipment reliability. And what that will dictate is the type of questionnaire that the information will gather on those critical digital capabilities, whether they're present within the project. Okay, do you have smart meters, electrical smart meters? Do you have the ability to digitally schedule preventive maintenance tasks? Okay, do you have all these digital capabilities for collecting, managing, analyzing, and actioning data? Now I'm skipping through this. I just want to show you maybe an example of one that we actually did with a client. And this is what you'll end up with. I'll just skip to the analysis. Okay, this looks pretty complex, right? But what it is summarizing what I just went through in the previous slides. What we have down here is a list of all the core critical digital capabilities that you would need on a project where your priorities were energy efficiency, sustainability, and equipment reliability. We're seeing, are they present or not? Okay, we're seeing, are they compatible with your building? Because it's no good telling someone, oh, you need gas submeters, it's critical for collecting information on gas if you're not using gas. Okay, we're looking at, are the necessary dependencies there? The other systems that are critical components for that capability to work. But you can see in the color codes, we're looking at the data lifecycle. So we're looking at, does this capability help you collect data? Does it help you manage data? Does it help you apply the analytics you need in the data? And essentially what you'll end up with is a score. You'll end up with a score for your project or your building that's showing you your data lifecycle. And look, it's important for it to score high, but it's also important for it to be balanced. Because again, it's no good having, I've seen projects where there's a lot of data being collected and not applying the analytical capability and the outputs to really get your actionable intelligence. And using this method, you're starting a project or designing a building, you can start to see very quickly, where is my building scoring in terms of its digital capabilities. On top of that, you can get a gap analysis. And a gap analysis is essentially all red, right? Huge gaps across all the different types of digital capabilities to be able to help you with energy efficiency, sustainability, and reliability. What's more, using the data analytics, we can run the iterations, and the platform will now automatically identify the top priority digital capabilities that you need in your project. and it's going to go through an iteration. It's going to say fall detection diagnostics, critical capability. It's going to move you from help you with your energy efficiency, start to improve that slightly, predictive maintenance, smart lighting systems. It goes on and on and on through the iterations to really identify all the way down what are the critical types of digital capabilities that you need to be adding to your project. Am I out of time now?
No, you're not.
So in summary, I apologize, I am skipping through this really fast. But again, using data, we're able to identify based on your specific project, based on your specific building, based on your specific needs, what are the top capabilities that you really need to really get the optimal digital ecosystem within your building. And very finally, once you've identified those capabilities, let me just show you this one actually. This one's probably better. Here was another client's building that, quite a new building, smart building, scored quite highly across a lot of digital. It was still lacking on some analysis capability, right? So there was room for improvement around identifying and finding capabilities that could improve. You can see a lot of this is green and yellow, right? So it's scoring quite highly. So these are the gaps. So you can see there's about 10% gaps around data collection for energy, 20% gap around management. But again, we can still identify what are the best tools out there that can still start to close the gaps to really get everything green. Asset management capability, equipment performance capability, inventory management. They're all capabilities associated with a computerized maintenance management system. This building wasn't using one, right? To really collect data on all the equipment and manage that data and give them insights on how they can better manage their equipment. And then you could see there was some energy real-time monitoring capabilities. So once we've identified those top capabilities, and they're all here, I'm going to just click them all. Software's told us, right, these are the most important capabilities. It can now look at the market and tell us what are the solutions out there in the market that best combine these types of capabilities. And the AI, as we...
What software? What software is out there?
What's the best digital solutions now that combine? So it could like point to an Evercam, because you want to collect data and you want to be able to get actionable insights on how you can improve compliance or safety. It can go out there and identify the types of solutions. So we can see there was actually two solutions here that were identified. An energy management solution. How do we see that there? 45% of your capabilities can actually be provided by an energy management solution on the market, and another 39% by a CMS. Okay, so you're actually getting most of your project's needs and the digital capabilities you need by two solutions on the market. Okay, so I hope that kind of gave you an idea of how you can really take the methodologies, really apply the data life cycle of the ecosystem, but also apply AI in terms of the analytics and machine learning to help you identify the best technologies and solutions for your project.
The best of luck with the business.
Thank you very much.